Okay, my internet should hopefully be working now, but let me just make a quick double check to make sure I'm not hallucinating like I usually am. I think it's working though, because it appears to be loading. Yes, whoops. Yee! Okay. Alright, so yes, started. Oh, yeah. In case it doesn't restart for anyone else. Yeah, my internet decided to go and have a spasmatism. Yes, I just made a Terraria reference. So yes, so you guys decided that I need to expand the chat so it's correct because, oops, I haven't done that. No, that's not what you guys said I did, but, yeah. You guys decided on Moosh's entry, Fedora toss. Apparently, tossing Fedora is supposedly a really cool thing. I looked over the instructions real quickly, and, so I kind of know how to play, kind of. I haven't experienced this before. Yeah, let me just go over the actual official thing. So, Moosh's entry was a puzzle game where you throw hats to win points. Lucky son of a bitch. This one is Fedora Toss. And just because people will leave me alone, I named the file name Epi because surely nothing could possibly go wrong. Oh wait, yes it can, and it probably will. So, yeah. So, we're gonna see what happens. I don't know. I don't want to know what happens. Oh, God. Tip. 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 Oh yeah, I gotta push the link, that's right. Tip. 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 Oops. Tip. 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 There we go. Ah! Fuck! Oh, you dick! Tip. 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 This is not going to work the way I want it to. Tip. Oh, this is a pain. Tip. 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 There we go. Tip. Oh God, what? Tip. Tip. Oops. Tip. 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 Come on, 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 come on. Tip. No, 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 no! Ah! Oh, Jubs has a message too? Has Jubs found the message yet? Tip. 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 Oh, he can't shoot the spikes. This is a little bit harder. Tip. Give me a break. Okay. Tip. Oh, okay, you do that. You do that. Tip. Tip. Okay. Tip. Not what I wanted to do. Tip. Definitely not what I wanted to do. Tip. Tip. Oh, why am I over here? Irregular bounce my ass. Try holding it. Oh! Oh, okay. Yeah, I glanced over controls. Leave me alone.
Tip. Tip.
That doesn't help me anyways, regard too much. Maybe.
Tip.
There we go.
Tip.
Evan, I know that's the suicide button. I read that.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Oh wait, you can't drown, can you? I thought you could drown for a second.
Tip. Tip.
Yeah, you can't drown. Okay, cool. I thought you could drown, that's why I was trying to avoid the water.
Tip.
Huh. Shoot, can I... Oh, that rock... Oh, here we go.
Tip. Tip.
I can't do
Tip.
that.
Tip.
This is a pain. Evan, I read the instructions. I know what B does. Nice try, though.
Tip.
Maybe push him that way real quick. Let's see if I can get him around.
Tip.
No! Don't go up!
Tip.
I'm using up all my Fedoras. Oh, unless that's an infinite sign. That's an infinite sign. Okay, I'm dumb. You heard it here, folks. I'm dumb.
Tip.
She won't go through those spikes.
Tip.
Go that way.
Tip. Tip.
Ugh. Fedora with chain? Oh dear, I see what's going on here.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Urgh.
Tip.
That's right, Link. No, 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 no! Don't go! Don't do that.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Oh my god.
Tip. Tip.
There we go. Oh crap, there's spikes down there too, I just realized that. See if I can get it to angle him.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Ah! Oh yeah, that's the button, by the way. Okay.
Tip. Tip.
Too slow. Tip, 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 tip. Let me try to do an angled shot back.
Tip. Tip.
Oh, I got him to stop somehow.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Yes, 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 yes! Oh.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
What am I doing with these green blocks is the question. Hold a second. No, that's the Fedora types. I don't do Fedora type yet. Okay, cool. Oh. Blue Fedoras bounce more. Oh, I do have blue Fedoras. Okay, cool.
Tip. Tip.
So you have a certain amount of blue ones.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Got him. Oh dear.
Tip. Tip.
That might have been a good idea, actually. I could find a way to get past this,
Tip.
though.
Tip. Tip.
And then shoot him up here.
Tip. Tip.
There we go. Anticipate the angle of the dangle. What? The angle of the dangle. What are you smoking?
Tip. 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 Tip.
Aw, won't one of you go in there?
Tip. Tip.
Got it. Now I have to somehow get Link up and through this without dying.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
There we go.
Tip. Tip.
Whew. Between 2 points. Oh dear.
Tip.
That was easy. I'm just gonna somehow figure out how I'm gonna do this.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Nope!
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Again, no.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
No! 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 Don't go backwards!
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Okay, just gotta go up.
tip, tip,
I gotta quickly push him that way real
Tip.
quick. Huh.
tip, tip,
No, I missed.
tip, tip, tip,
Okay. Can I safely get him back down? Huh.
tip, tip.
No, that's not what I had in mind! Oh, the blue block. Yeah, I gotta fix it. I'll fix that shortly. I see the blue block respawns. Whoop-de-doo.
Tip.
Huh.
Tip, tip, tip.
Oh, that's just green kills, that's right. I think I got an idea, so let me get rid of that blue block.
Tip, 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 tip.
No, that's not what I had in mind at all.
Tip,
Hey.
tip, 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 tip.
I know that.
Tip, 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 tip,
There we go. That's much better.
tip, tip,
That's not what I wanted!
tip, 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 tip.
Got him. It's a monoculus. Oh, okay. No shit.
Tip.
Oh.
Tip, 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 tip,
Shoot it until it dies.
tip,
Oh.
tip, 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 tip,
Ow.
tip, 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 tip. Tip, 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 tip,
Go in the door.
tip, tip, tip.
Oh, you poor thing. Beware the orange powder.
Tip,
Can't help but notice I'm missing a
Tip.
key.
tip, 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 tip.
I guess that's not the orange powder. Shut up.
Tip.
I should not have done that.
Tip, tip, tip,
I may have got him partially stuck now.
tip, 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 tip,
Phew. No!
Tip.
Are you being sarcastic about that comment?
Tip. Tip.
Shit.
Tip.
There we go, got that one. And just push you to the left.
Tip. Tip.
There we go. Okay, cool. I'm just gotta get you... God, this angle's a bit of a pain. I should just hit from here.
Tip.
There we go. Oh, okay, almost night. I have green Fedora, so it's nothing to do with blue.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Ah! No!
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh, why did you turn around? RNG most, yeah, sure.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Oh, god damn it.
Tip. Tip.
You let him move out. I thought he moved on a fixed pattern on that level over there.
Tip. 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 Tip.
I want to get past that.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
No, 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 the cart! Ow! No!
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Of course he comes and gives me a hug!
Tip.
Why wouldn't he?
Tip. Tip.
Ay, 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 ay.
Tip.
Har, 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 TS.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh, come on! Ugh.
Tip. Tip.
Whoever knew an Armless Knight would be so rustling, huh?
Tip. Tip.
Why am I going this way? Please go down, please go down. No, no, no!
Tip. Tip. Tip.
I wish I could kill him.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Shit.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Yes, 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 yes! Yes, 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 yes! Oh. Grabbing cheetahs is almost certainly lethal. No, I definitely don't say. I don't disagree with that at all.
Tip. 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 Tip.
No, okay, there we go. Don't go that way. I may have just perma-stuck myself, though. Oh, not really.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Go back down.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Oh shit, you turn them on just by walking past them.
Tip. Tip.
Ugh, that's annoying! Oh, that's good to know.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Because why not?
Tip. 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 Tip.
Ugh! God damn it, getting him out of there is a pain, though.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Ow.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Right into them. God, that's a pain. Why would you do that?
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh no, don't tell him I'll start doing that now.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Getting him out of there is a pain. Maybe aim up for maybe fire one like right here and try to draw him out.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Yeah, let's push him right back into it. Ha ha, I'm getting a high score, yeah. Oh god, this is pretty difficult.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh yeah, I ran into the spike, that's right. I was like, oh yeah, don't work.
Tip.
I realized what I did wrong right immediately.
Tip. Tip.
Oh yeah, no, no, no.
Tip. 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 Tip.
The spike's right there.
Tip. Tip.
There we go.
Tip.
That's not comforting, Evan.
Tip.
And again, when is whatever you say comforting, anyways?
Tip.
Holy crap!
Tip.
Got it! Oh god, the Fedora moves! That's not problematic at all, no!
Tip.
Oh, I gotta get 2 over there.
Tip. Tip.
Fuck.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh, come on.
Tip.
There we go.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Crap, I missed that one, but I can get that one on a rebound.
Tip.
That's not gonna help me at all, I just gotta work on my angles.
Tip. 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 Tip.
No, Link, wrong way!
Tip. Tip.
There we go.
Tip. 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 Tip.
The hell?
Tip.
Oh, really?
Tip. 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 Tip.
Ugh!
Tip. 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 Tip.
I gotta be faster.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh!
Tip.
I made him face away because he's, you know, a boo and does that. Okay.
Tip. 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 Tip.
There we go.
Tip. Tip.
Whoa!
Tip. 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 Tip.
Okay, let's see if I can get through that real quick.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Turn around, Link! Okay.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Okay.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Gee! Oh, God. Ice skating for Cheetos. Oh, no.
Tip.
I only have 3 fedoras. Oh, no.
Tip.
I totally didn't waste that one. Oh, no, no, no. Let's not waste any more right now.
Tip. 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 Tip.
No!
Tip. 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 Tip.
Alright.
Tip.
Send you up. I should get that one first.
Tip. Tip.
No, that's not what I wanted to do!
Tip.
Stop, 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 stop.
Tip.
Go all the way to the right. Might as well just use this here. Wow, I wasted that.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Hello, no late. No! Come on! Oh, I had that, and then I fucked up.
Tip.
Well, I still got a lot done.
Tip. Tip.
Yeah, I'm not doing all the levels tonight. I'll probably do all the other entries after I'm done playing for the night, and then I might come back and work on this some more. Because this is actually pretty fun. Alright.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Okay, this one's tricky to get without getting myself killed.
Tip. 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 Tip.
There we go, got it.
Tip. 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 Tip.
This ice is making me nervous. Everyone knows how much I love puzzles that involve ice. I don't.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
I missed! Oh, I missed. Of course I missed. Why would I not miss? Okay. Let's not break those blocks yet.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oops, I clicked out of the screen by accident. Okay, there we go. Fixed it.
Tip. 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 Tip.
That one's a tricky one to get, and obviously that one over there, but I could probably get that one by breaking the blocks.
Tip.
It's this filthy ice block right here.
Tip.
Not what I wanted to do.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh!
Tip. Tip.
I'll get this level. I want to beat the at least the ice levels before I stop for the night.
Tip. Tip.
Congratulations. I knew it would fill you with rainbows.
Tip.
Okay.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
There we go.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Oh, that's not the results I kind of wanted. I could work with this though.
Tip. 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 Tip.
No! Come on! Ugh. I think I hate Cheetos now.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Stop, Link!
Tip. 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 Tip.
That was pro.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Helps much for that one.
Tip. Tip.
Got it. Let me just get you in the door. There we go. Oh my god! You are absolutely joking. Oh dear. Okay, this is actually...
Tip.
I don't want to do that yet.
Tip. 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 Tip.
No, I don't want to do that. I see how to do... Unless... Does this...
Tip.
Wake the armors up?
Tip.
No, it doesn't. I have an idea.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oops.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Stay away from my Link.
Tip. 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 Tip.
This is not gonna end well. No, I'm dead.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh shit, I forgot to wake them all up when I do that.
Tip, 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 tip.
How did I get it that one time without
Tip.
waking them up?
Tip. Tip, 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 tip,
Oh, that's annoying.
tip, tip.
Yeah, this level's just no. Probably have to get one of those other ones awake.
Tip.
There we
Tip.
go, now I can hit the rest of them.
Tip.
Unless he kills me.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Why do you have to come near me? I'm just trying to do some stuff
Tip.
here.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Oh, I could have had that. Oh, they can't go on the great top. Oh, I did not know that.
Tip. Tip.
There we go.
Tip. 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 Tip.
I gotta wait for the perfect time to do this now. Oh, go away! Go away! Go away! What are you doing, man? Go somewhere else! Oh, that was the perfect time to do it. He's come back, though.
Tip.
Okay, now.
Tip.
There we go. Do you really want those points? No, not really. This doesn't look too bad, but then again, there's that Cheeto right there.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
I should restart.
Tip. Tip. Tip.
Wow, that didn't go as planned.
Tip. 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 Tip.
Really? I thought the other level taught you that. Oh, I mean by that, yeah. Okay, they can't touch gray, I think. I hope.
Tip. Tip.
Link, stop doing that.
Tip.
Okay, there we go.
Tip. 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 Tip, tip, tip,
Excuse me for being tricked.
tip, tip, tip,
Ow.
tip, 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 tip,
I clicked out of the screen by again.
tip, tip,
No, you have every right to do that.
tip,
I walked off the screen.
tip, 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 tip,
Oh.
tip, 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 tip,
Ow. Yeah, let's run right under him.
tip, tip,
Wow, okay.
tip, 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 tip,
Did you know that this boss isn't easy? Oh.
tip, tip, tip,
Ow!
tip, 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 tip,
Probably just wait till he tries to blow all the snowballs away.
tip, tip,
That'd probably be the better idea.
tip, 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 tip,
Oh, come on!
tip, 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 tip,
Clicked off the screen again by accident.
tip, 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 tip,
Ow, off the screen I go.
tip, 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 tip,
Yep, went right back into it because I can.
tip, 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 tip,
He wouldn't do his attack.
tip, 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 tip,
Guys, stop clicking off the screen.
tip, 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 tip,
I'm making mistakes left and right today.
tip, 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 tip,
Wow.
tip, 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 tip,
Oh, got him.
tip, tip.
Oh dear, is that a fire thing? That thing's gonna shoot fire. I'm near it, isn't it? Oh, it shoots magic. I'm gonna save. Halfway point's a good stopping point for now. Does it take me back to where I was? Oh, it does. It does. That's awesome. Okay, cool. But that's gonna be it for today. Made it through the halfway point. I'm gonna do all the other entries first, then I'll come back and finish this up because this is actually pretty damn good. 2 weeks, Moosh. Good job. So far, first 2 quests, amazing. Will the other one stand up? We'll find out. I will probably release a poll for the next choice probably a little bit before I'm supposed to stream. So yeah. Well, we'll see, Evan. We'll see. So yeah, a new poll will be up for the remaining 4 choices later. I will be heading off now to do other stuff. You'll be doing other stuff. We'll be doing other stuff. So yeah, more 2-week contest entries tomorrow. Cannot wait to see what I'm going to be up against. See y'all tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.